Eli's wicked sons. Eli's sons were wicked men. They had no regard for the Lord. Now it was the practice of the priests with the people that whenever anyone offered a sacrifice and while the meat was being boiled, the servant of the priest would come with a three-pronged fork in his hand. He would plunge it into the pan or kettle or cauldron or pot, and the priest would take for himself whatever the fork brought up. This is how they treated all the Israelites who came to Shiloh. Now, previous Lamp Bible studies, if you haven't been in the previous Lamp Bible studies since Exodus, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Genesis, Joshua, Judges, Ruth, now we're in Samuel. Do you remember any portion where it said that the priest would, the person would come with their offering and the priest would put their prong into whatever they have brought them and take the first thing out of it, the best, the first thing, like as in the best. So remember, they would take of the best things from the Lord. It was offered to the Lord, and then they get to partake. It's almost like they're standing at a door, you coming up to give your offering, and they're like, let's see here. No, I don't like this. Or it doesn't. Thoughts, feelings. What kind of thoughts, feelings come to your mind? How does it make you feel? What does it make you think? Let's continue to read. But even before the fat was burned, the servant of the priest would come and say to the man who was sacrificing, "Give the priest some meat to roast. He won't accept boiled meat from you, but only raw." They've already made practices and such that were nowhere near given in the directions. But do we do those things? Do we, past or present, do we develop things that we think may have been or from culture passed down, may have started sometime? Think about like the game telephone. When you were little, you spoke something, or maybe in school or college or whatever it happened. It could happen even today. You spoke something to somebody, like a direction. By the time it got to the person that needed to hear the message, it was completely different. Exhibit A. I mean B. We're on B, Exhibit B now. So you have this learned thing, something that they have changed, and we're starting to see why Eli's wicked sons. This is letting us know they're not thinking of the Lord during this time. Let's continue to read. If the man said to him, "Let the fat be burned up first, and then take whatever you want," the servant would then answer, "No, hand it over. If you don't, I'll take it by force." An offering. Mind you, it's an offering. The sin of the young men was very great in the Lord's sight, for they were treating the Lord's offering with contempt. Absolutely. But Samuel was ministering before the Lord, a boy wearing a linen ephod. Each year his mother made him a little robe and took it to him. Aww. When she went up with her husband to offer the annual sacrifice. That's so cute. Eli would bless Elkanah and his wife, saying, "May the Lord give you children by this woman to take the place of the one she prayed for and gave to the Lord." Aww. Then they would go home, and the Lord was gracious to Hannah. She conceived and gave birth to 3 sons and 2 daughters. Meanwhile, the boy Samuel grew up in the presence of the Lord. with his little cute outfits every year as he grew. I could only imagine. Nowadays, it would be a big, like, taking pictures and everything. It probably was something, maybe drawings. Maybe they did drawings. I don't know. Hand drawings or something. I don't know. Let's continue to read. Now, Eli, who was very old, heard about everything his sons were doing to all Israel and how they slept with the women who served at the entrance to the tent of meeting. So he said to them, "Why do you do such things? I hear from all the people about these wicked deeds of yours. No, my sons, it is not good report. It is not a good report that I hear spreading among the Lord's people. If a man sins against another man, God may mediate for him. But if a man sins against the Lord, who will intercede for him?" His sons, however, did not listen to their father's rebuke, for it was the Lord's will to put them to death. And the boy Samuel continued to grow in stature and in favor with the Lord and with men. So here goes Eli. He was trying to say something to his sons, but his sons ignored him. Was Eli taking it far enough to rebuke his own sons? He was hearing these things and all he did was speak to them. Was this living by the law? Was this living by the rules? Or did he kind of have partiality because they were his sons? Do we do that? Do you do that? Do I do that? Do we show partiality? I do. I can tell you now. I could tell you there's something like recent that's why it just came into my mind. I was just like, yeah. Do I mean to? Do I want to? No. Do I end up showing partiality or taking partiality? It's difficult when it comes to family. It is difficult because it's something that you don't want to see that person go through punishment. You want them to learn and understand and correct themselves. However, if they don't, and what kind of role are we helping with when we don't allow for things, or when we guide and do what we can, but just let happen what needs to happen? Whose growth are we stumping? So it's those are difficult questions, right? Think about it. I don't like to show partiality at all, but I know that I have. I can't say that I have not. And I ask the Lord for forgiveness for it too, because it's not something that it shows. It's once again, shows over and over again in the Holy Word what happens when partiality is shown. It's not good. So give it to the Lord and let the Lord deal with it. The battle is not yours, it is the Lord's. Amen. So what kind of thoughts and feelings come to your mind reading this portion? How does it make you feel and what does it make you think?